Hey y'all, what's up? Taurus here, TaurusBeats.com. Thank you for coming and watching this particular video. Just want to show you another sample beat that I'm making. This is one that I'm just doing. Really, I was inspired again by another song that I heard. Really love the song itself. And this one, I'm just going to show you and talk to you about the flips and things that I do as far as the samples. As you can probably see right here, I'm in Reason, Reason 6. I'm actually in 6.5. And I have the NXT Advanced Sampler. That's the one that I use. That's the device that I use in terms of doing any sample flips because it gives me the most control in my view. And it's the one that I can use the best. It's the best tool for me. And so I use the NXT device to basically flip the samples or make sample arrangements, sample pattern arrangements, different types for a particular sample. So in other words, one sample, I might use one sample. I might chop one sample and then slice it up the way I want and use that same set of samples and make maybe 5 or 6, maybe 10 different patterns depending upon what I want to do with the song. In this case, I only have like 3, as you can see right here. And I'm just going to play for you, just going to let you hear what they are right now. You can hear this first one. Listen. So as you're listening to it, one of the first things I want to talk to you about as far as this particular flip that I just did is really basic. It's not a complex flip at all. It's really just the strikes. The key of my sample flipping style, the key of it really is the way that I make the chops. It's the way that I actually slice the samples when I'm actually going through and listening and figuring out what I'm going to actually sample in the first place. The reason why I point that out is because my slices tend to be very irregular. They don't follow. In other words, I don't go out and cut a section of a song and then go through and cut on the fourth or on the quarter notes or cut on the the whole notes or anything like that. I don't cut on notes. I don't go through and say 16th notes. I'm going to cut every 16th notes. I don't. I just listen to whatever the song is. And I listen to how it flows, and I may make a slice that's very irregular. It's just in a place that doesn't seem like it needs to be cut. But I just make that cut because the way I actually physically flip the sample whether I'm using the akai MPD32 when I press the pad, or if I'm using the Yamaha DJX or any keyboard, MIDI keyboard, however I press the keys, it's my feel, it's my style of flipping the sample that is really the key with the slice. So when you listen to that, the key in this particular sample pattern here is the guitar. If you listen to that sample at the very beginning of it and you listen to parts, you can hear that guitar, ding, 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 ding. You hear that guitar in there, but you can also hear another part of it, which is like a Rose or a keyboard sound that's really dominant. And that keyboard sound is really what I'm keying off of. It's not the guitar, it's the keyboard sound. And the reason why I point this out is because a lot of times people ask me, well, how do you flip and how do you get such how do your flips come out so nice and what I try to explain to them, you have to listen and you have to key on a particular instrument inside the flip. And what I do is I key in on either the dominant. I listen to what's actually changing as far as the note changes. If you listen to this flip again, you'll notice that the Rhodes or that keyboard is changing the note, or is actually, think of it as a chord progression. It's changing a chord progression. Dude, just listen to it again. Instead of me trying to sing it, listen to it again. So if you listen to it. So if you're really paying attention to what I'm saying, I'm using those notes in that sample. I'm using those keyboard notes to make a progression, to make some kind of melodic or bass line or whatever progression. You can hear how it's moving. The guitar is just filler. Ding, ding, a ding. It's just filler, really. But a lot of people, when they listen to it, they really only hear the guitar because they think, oh, you're flipping that guitar. No, I'm really flipping the key or the keyboard notes, because the keyboard notes are the basis for my progression. I tried to explain it to you. Let me put it to you like this to try to make it a little bit simpler. I'm going to do that along with my bass line. And perhaps that'll show you what I'm talking about hopefully that'll give you a little bit more insight into what I'm talking about here. Let's go ahead and do it with this bass line right here. So I'm going to bring in this bass line so you can hear both of them together. And then that way what you'll hear is how the bass line is actually moving with that keyboard part. Not the guitar. It's moving with the keyboard part. Let's see if I can get it for you. So automatically, you should be able to hear what I'm talking about. Notice how the bass moves. Boom, 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 boom. So you see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. People, you know, they come to me and they're asking, yo, you flipped that guitar. I really wasn't flipping the guitar. I was flipping the keyboard. The guitar just happened to be in the sample. I'm focusing on the key because the key is actually setting up my progression for my song, for my track. So I hope that helps somebody out there, because that's really a basic part, I believe, as far as sample flipping, is what you hone in on in the song that you want to sample, is what you focus on to build your song. I'm focusing in on like keyboards, Rhodes, heavy strings. If there's a whole bunch of strings moving at the same, a string movement, I focus in on the string movement. Other people focus on other things. That's okay, but this is just what I do. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of information as far as what I do in this. So you have that flip there at the beginning, that pattern. Now, one of the other things that I do at the beginning is, at the very beginning here, I have a filter on that NNXT. So that sample that you heard at the very beginning is filtered out. So really the guitar part that you heard, or the guitar piece that you heard, the little ringing part, it goes away because I filtered it out and I just brought it down to where you only really hear the keys and you hear the key progression moving. So let's listen to that. So you hear it at the very beginning. This is what it sounds like filtered. And this is really the beginning of the track. It's the beginning section of the first verse of my track. Now, as you're watching here, you're going to go into another pattern. Notice I have two different patterns here, but I'm just... So you see right here, we go into this pattern piece, and it's still filtered out. This one right here is muted. Don't worry about this one. But this one right here, this line here, this is the first section of my first verse, right here. And now listen to this. So now you hear how it moves out of being filtered out to the lowest, the lowest level frequency. And then all of a sudden, at that second part of my first verse, that second part, it just opens up on you. I use that technique, and I'm trying to explain the technique to you. This is, people talk about secrets and all that type of stuff. I don't have any secrets. I just have techniques. I have things that I do that work for me. And I hope that you can use the same thing to do what you want to do. I'm all for creativity. Do what you got to do. But that technique of going from filtered to open, and then sometimes I just filter it back down, that's nothing new. I mean, a lot of songs do that. I'm just showing you that this is the way that I've done it with this particular device setup. The NNXT, the same sample pattern is playing. It's just that I filtered out that high guitar and that high level guitar, and it also gives it a sound as if the space, you can hear the space in the track. It opens up and becomes airy, and you can hear the air in the track as you're listening to that piece. Listen to it again. When you hear the filter, when it comes out of being filtered to come into the piece where it's not filtered, you'll hear the air open up, and you can hear like a lot of space and a lot of white noise, if you will, in the space. So you see, you get the airiness of it now. And you have that bass line running with it, just so you can hear how it's moving, giving you a frame of reference. So you see the third, now in this section, this is the third section of my first verse. This is still the first verse. But you can hear how I'm moving it now. And that's intentional. That's something that I do with almost all of my songs. I progress. I give you nothing. I build it. Then I give you a little bit more. And I keep trying to build on that. And if you notice what I did, and really what moved it on the third part was the bass line. I changed the bass to where it wasn't playing just ba bum, ba bum, bum bum, bum, bum bum. Then I came in with the third one, bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum. So the movement is being created by the bass line a lot in that case there. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can create movement as you go to where your song doesn't have to sound bland, even though you're playing the same thing over and over again. So keep that in mind. Excuse me, I'm sorry about that. So as we keep going here, I don't want the video to be too long. We're already at 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get you over into another portion of, and give you another piece of the sample. By now, you probably already know what the sample is. If not, you know, I'll have it in the description for you. So we're going to go over to the second part. This is going to be my second verse. All four of these are my second verse here. Different pattern. It's a different flip altogether. And you can hear the bass line running with it. And so what I was saying about one of the things I try to explain about when I chop my samples, I chop my slices irregularly. I don't chop them on a particular 16th note or something on the time. I don't do that. I just chop it wherever I feel it when I'm listening to it originally. And that gives me the flexibility to let it run. Like if I press the key, if I press down a pad or whatever, I can let it run and interrupt it while it's running and get a different feel for it without having to worry about, okay, I chopped that on the 16th note. Okay, that's the next 16th. I don't worry about that. I let it flow. Sometimes it'll have maybe 3 beats in that one sample. That one sample slice may have 3 beats in it. And I just let it run, but I might interrupt it in different ways, and that just adds to the flip. It adds to the style, adds to the flavor. So keep that in mind too. So as you listen to this section here, just a different flip. That's all it is. So I'm going to go into another piece here, and this will probably definitely reveal for you what the song is. Let me see what I'm going to give you here. Let's go ahead and get into it, because I'm going to go ahead and run it for you all together so you can hear the whole thing eventually. So let's go ahead and play this one. Now this one, I normally don't do this. I don't do a lot of including vocals inside of my tracks. Like if it's a sample song, including the actual vocal piece. I really just focus on the instrumentals. I love the instruments and things like that. And so this is just one of the first times. I'm just using it raw. I'm just using it just as it is in the song. I haven't done any changes. I haven't done any. I haven't raised it any octave. I haven't done any pitching. Nothing like that on the sample. It's the exact same thing that you hear on the original, and I just wanted to use it that way. So here's the little vocal piece. So you hear that vocal piece running, and all that really is doing is just giving it a little bit for my this is like my hook or my chorus. For my hook or my chorus, it's just giving it, it's kind of tagging it and saying, okay, this is what the song is really about. And I just like that piece, and I just wanted that. But then I was thinking, well, what I really wanted to do as far as focusing on that, and she's saying love in the actual song. But what I wanted to focus on was the love, but I also wanted to focus on what she says right here. Hopefully you can hear this too. Okay, so you got the idea as far as that. That's the sample. Really, that's all of the flips, and that kind of gives you the idea of what the song really is. First of all, I want to go back a little bit. I should say first of all, but anyway, I want to go back and say thanks to Hillsong United, because the track is definitely it's a major influence as far as just what I love and love to hear. And just wanted to go back through now and just play it for you, play what I did with it. Like I said, just something I was inspired to do. Just listen to it and just kind of knock this one out real quick. And I hope you enjoy. Just listen to it, enjoy it, and leave me feedback. Leave me a comment. If you like it, just go ahead and click like. You know, I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate anybody who comes by and spends time, you know, spending your time that you cannot get back just to sit and watch a video of something that I've created. I really appreciate it, and I thank you. If you would like to have, you know, a track or something like that, let me know, and I'll try to get it to you as quickly as possible. I haven't really finished this one, so I'll let you know when I finish it. But just leave me a message, subscribe, send me a private message. You can hit me up at TaurusBeats.com. Please go by and look at TaurusBeats.com. Go look at the website there where you can check out all the music that I've already done, and you can actually download tracks from there. Or, you know, check out my music blog as well, TaurusJames.com. Go there and check out what I do overall. And again, y'all know how we do. Grace and peace until next time. Y'all take care of yourselves. Until the next time, I'll make another video. Hopefully, see you there.